could save on homeowners insurance.
Third-seeded Robert Morris, 11-7 in the Northeast Conference. Number 1 seed Sacred Heart, 16-2 in league play. And away we go from the Pitt Center in Fairfield, Connecticut. Robert Morris on the road in the navy blue uniforms, and Sacred Heart here at home in the white.
We're going to see both teams playing man-to-man defense to start out with. But really a nice play by Robert Morris. Just couldn't get that ball to drop on that first possession.
Here's Kimmel, top of the key. Her long try is no good, and it's corralled by Robert Morris.
You don't want to give Kimmel that many good looks at the top of the key. She'll knock those down. Everybody trying to settle in right now to their defense.
This is Anna-Niki Stamolamprou. She steps through and lofts it too high. The only player averaging more than 10 points a game on Robert Morris. Lou Natalie, the senior from France. No good, and the rebound to Ashley Ravelli straight away.
I really like the offense that Robert Morris runs. A lot of curling action around the post players, flaring to give their shooters some nice looks at the basket.
Stamolamprou off the back iron. It's Kimmel going back to work, and she's turned away by Ravelli. On for Tarsi, who had 25 points on Wednesday in the win against St. Francis. Home team in this series has won the last 7 games. As you said, now Robert Morris has not won in this gym, a particularly tough place to play since 2008.
You know, remember talking to them about that yesterday, Mike. They don't particularly know why they haven't won, but it gets very loud in here. They just feel like Sacred Heart has a great home court advantage here.
Shelby Hickey, great three-point shooter. Gets rid of it for Kimmel, and a foul as she drives on the baseline. Sal Buscaglia in his 13th season as the head coach here at Robert Morris. More than 700 wins across 38 years of coaching. Today may be his last game. There's his son Charlie, the associate head coach and coach in waiting. But he told us yesterday he doesn't really want to think about this being his last game just yet.
No, he's totally focused on this game and getting his Robert Morris team back into the NCAA tournament.
Stamolamprou with the takeaway right to the bucket. Left hand and in. Robert Morris is on the board first.
And you know, Mike, you have to believe that Robert Morris really is playing for their coach, for Coach Sal, as they call him. If this is, in fact, his last game, they want him to be able to finish his career at the NCAA tournament.
Kimmel turns inside the free throw line and scores. That's a fantastic matchup there with Stamolamprou, a 2-guard, against Kimmel, a bigger 3/forward or guard.
Well, no question. And if Kimmel gets a lot of shots that close to the basket, she's going to be able to shoot over Stamolamprou.
Natalie drops it inside for Smith, who sees the double team. Ravelli for 3. Yes!
That's a great sign for Robert Morris. Ashley Ravelli, an emotional leader on this Colonial team. There's no question about it. Her hot start will serve well for Robert Morris.
Anna Kimmel mentioned to us yesterday that that's one of the things they wanted to be able to take away from Robert Morris was a good start shooting the basketball. Kimmel from 3. And she responds for Sacred Heart. Tied at 5.
Again, you cannot give up open looks to Hannah Kimmel. She's just too good of a shooter. She takes too many threes. You've got to limit her touches outside.
Natalie tucks it in. Doesn't finish down the left alley.
A lot of layups missed already in this game. The pressure, the defensive pressure, good for both teams.
Castro pushed it, and even with contact, no foul. Stamolamprou for 3. Just short, boarded by Hickey.
It'll be interesting to see how physical these officials let them play today. Robert Morris really in their semifinal game against Bryant. Very physical game. Brianna Rucker, one of the best players in this league, was really held quite nicely by Robert Morris, a big reason why they won the game.
A 72-59 win on the road for Robert Morris, and the team has stayed on the road. They were getting antsy, ready to go. Ashley Ravelli, who's got it. Gives it left for Michaela Mulrain, and she's good with range to 15 feet.
A really nice shot by Mulrain right there. They need those kind of buckets from her. She doesn't have to score a lot of points, but every now and then you got to let them know that you can score at that free throw line.
Hickey with the feed going across the lane for Tarsi, who couldn't hang on to it. Second turnover for Sacred Heart. Smith steps into a three, and she buries it. 32% from beyond the arc for the sophomore from Barrie, Ontario.
Well, it is raining threes today. I love it. Both of these teams are known for shooting a lot of threes, and we're seeing it early.
Castro, another three-point shooter. Natalie trying to keep her in front. And you've got a foul on the floor and a timeout as well, with Robert Morris doubling up Sacred Heart on the road.
You're going to see these threes coming. Here's Hannah Kimmel. That's a steal by Anna-Niki Stamolamprou right there. One of the better players in this conference. But you know what? Hannah Kimmel says, I got one for you.
USA Contenders.
You know, he looked really happy when it went off the tee, and then, oh, did that end up in the bunker?
Well, that's why you bring extra balls. I know.
Right.
If I can finish a round and only lose 10 balls, then I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Robert Morris, 11-7, finished third in the NEC. Preseason #1 selection, and went through Fairleigh Dickinson and Bryant to get here to the title game. Meanwhile, Sacred Heart, they finished 20-11. That was after a 2-9 non-conference portion of their schedule. They've got the Player of the Year, the Coach of the Year, and Alyssa Tarsi, the most improved player as well. This is Kimmel, the Player of the Year in the Northeast Conference. She gets it out for Hickey, who hit 5 from downtown on Wednesday.
Yeah, career night for Shelby Hickey in that semifinal win. Sacred Heart needs more of that out of her.
It's another missed layup. Tykira Carter, the sophomore from Alexandria, Virginia, off the bench and onto the floor for Sacred Heart.
Missed layups already in this game. It's interesting to me the amount of defensive pressure that's really putting a lot of contesting defenses on the layup shot, not the three-point shot.
Smith was working for position. She got it and looked across the floor. And the foul comes on Alyssa Tarsi. That's her first, and the first against Sacred Heart.
You know, Tarsi is such a great success story. Worked really hard in the offseason to have better hands, to be able to run this dribble drive offense. She's got to be ready at a moment's notice to be catching balls as they're coming in there from her teammates. So really has developed herself, worked hard to become a better player.
Stamolamprou was wide open off the inbounds at the elbow. A 7-0 Robert Morris run after we were tied at 5.
Well, Robert Morris starts off 0 for 5 field goals. And now they're off on quite a run right now.
Carter kept outside the lane by Natalie. Shot clock is down to 10. And she finagles her way to the bucket to end that 7-0 run. How about Ravelli, who's bringing the ball up the court here, and the transition she has made to be a great point guard for this team?
Well, you know, they needed her to move there. She was a 2 guard, but they needed her ball handling skills in order to free up Stamolamprou to be able to shoot a little bit more. But Ravelli has embraced that role. Her biggest struggle is trying to figure out, when do I need to take my shot? But she does a great job of distributing the ball and understands her role quite well.
Offensive foul charged to Leah Warmack, the graduate transfer out of UNC Asheville, number 20 in the blue, under the basket right now with Tarsi. It's Kimmel with a crossover on Stamolamprou, and her height is proven to be quite an advantage right now.
What a nice shooter she is, but she's definitely taking advantage of that height, Mike. No question about it.
The NEC Player of the Year with 7 of the 9 early points for Sacred Heart. Ravelli, the native of Italy, for Stamolamprou from Greece. An internationally flavored roster. Ravelli finds the bottom of the basket.
That's what seniors do, and Ashley Ravelli does not want this to be her last game at Robert Morris. Really nice shot selection by Ravelli.
Kimmel has 10.
Wow, every time Robert Morris does something, it's like Hannah Kimmel says, I could do one better than that.
She can do 3 better on that possession. Robert Morris, the lead is 2. Closing in on 2 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Looking for a flare screen, tipped away by Kimmel at the top of the key.
Well, here's Hannah Kimmel showing us what she does so well. Nice little crossover right there. Gets off the shot with a late contest. And then Ravelli off of a little flare and knocks that down. We're seeing some really nice shooting performances today by both of these teams.
It's a very different offense than what it was for the early portion of the season for Robert Morris. A lot more motion, but still a constant amount of Anna-Niki Stamolamprou.
No question. She has to have the ball in her hands. The offense runs through Stamolamprou. Make no mistake about that. She leads them in assists, in scoring. She's just an all-around great player.
Warmack dives on the floor for it. Stamolamprou brings it up the floor for Robert Morris. Ravelli for 3. Oh, it's pure.
Well, right now, she's just being that leader that Robert Morris needs her to be. But the emotion that she brings to the floor is contagious.
The Colonials come back down the floor with a 7-point lead. They've made their last 6 field goal tries. Stamolamprou. Off back iron.
You see kids pulling jerseys right now. The pace of this game is brutal. Right now, Stamolamprou a little winded. Gonna have to try to give her a little bit of a break.
Got 2, maybe 3 possessions left here in the first quarter. Stamolamprou, second team All-NEC this year. Now Rebecca Navarro, the native of Spain. 7 to shoot. Ravelli just off the iron, tracked down by Carter. And the Pioneers have the last shot of the first quarter if they want it.
This is where strategy becomes very important. Sacred Heart needs to make sure they don't give the ball back to Robert Morris right now going into the second quarter.
5 seconds. Who's going to shoot it? Off the back of the rim and no good for Adacia Williams. And a quick pace game after 1 quarter. 19-14 Robert Morris. Ashley Ravelli heating up for the Colonials.
Well, Ashley Ravelli doing what seniors do when it comes down to tournament time. You're playing for a right to get to the NCAA tournament. And that's what I'm going to help us get to.
Respective 4th trip to the NCAA tournament. Here are the tickets punched right now. Buffalo and Iona, first-time participants in the NCAA tournament. Meanwhile, Connecticut has won 69 straight. The favorite, once again, to try and make it 4 straight titles this year.
I think they have the best chance of doing that in the history of the women's game. First of all, they have the opportunity to play for 4, but they have a great team to make that happen.
Kelsey Castro on the drive, and she's fouled on her way out. So we'll have the first free throws of the afternoon.
Which is really surprising. As many balls that they've gotten into the paint to get easy shots. We've seen a lot of missed layups. But this gives the players the opportunity to catch their breath a little bit. That first quarter was brutal when it comes to getting up and down this floor. Both of these teams playing very fast-paced offense.
Castro, her second season, the transfer, good at the line. Robert Morris, we mentioned in that first quarter a little bit about how their offense has changed this year. Charlie Buscaglio, who's going to take over as the head coach next year for his dad, Sal, implemented a new offense for the first time February 6th against Bryant, and it's really revamped the way they play now.
Well, it has. It's a lot of what you hear in the NBA and WNBA. They run a lot of floppy, which is perimeter players that are running and curling off of post screens down on the block or flaring. It's a big read of the defense kind of offense. It also helps players not have to score off the bounce as much. As you look at the stats in the first quarter, Robert Morris, 6 assists on 8 made field goals in the first quarter. Well, that's because of this offense.
He told us yesterday about the many late nights he spent. Of course, Robert Morris just outside of Pittsburgh when other teams that ran the style he wanted to implement would come into town. He'd beg the coaches and the video coordinators just for some time with them. There are elements of what you see with the Virginia offense on the men's side and what they do with screens.
Well, Charlie Buscaglia is a student of the game, and he is every day of the year. He does not stop. He's constantly studying, trying to learn. He's just a worker. He is an incredibly hard worker. He's earned his position at Robert Morris and the right to be the next head coach there, and he'll do a fantastic job taking over for his father. 36
years old, his 13th year there as well, but he spent his first 4 years as an unpaid assistant, getting $1,000 a month out of the camp budget from his dad. Navarro into the lane, she scores, and Robert Morris has a 23-16 edge.
Rebecca Navarro is a really nice player to have coming off of your bench for Robert Morris. She's 5'10". She's their leading three-point shooter in this conference, actually. She shoots 46% from behind the arc. But that's great size to have out there on your perimeter to be able to score inside or outside.
She was bumped from behind by Lorraine Etienne, the senior from Kensington, Maryland, for Sacred Heart, and that's her second personal foul. She goes to the bench, and Alyssa Tarsi is back onto the floor for Sacred Heart. Tarsi, the most improved player this year, all NEC second team, after she brought her scoring average up by about 7 points a game.
Well, Sacred Heart relies on a base, they play 5 players a lot of minutes, so they can't afford to get those players in foul trouble. Tarsi has to be careful.
It's about an 8-player rotation for Sacred Heart. Robert Morris, meanwhile, after the starting 5, it's 15 minutes, 12 minutes, 11 minutes, and it can go as deep as 12 players on a given afternoon.
You're right. They go to their bench a lot more than Sacred Heart does, and they've got a lot of players who can put the ball in the hole also.
Castro to the corner for Kimmel, who's got 10. She's the leading scorer for both teams right now. Navarro coming off a scoreless game Wednesday against Bryant. Stamolamprou in the lane. Short off the iron. And a foul underneath off the missed shot.
Micaiah Mulrain got a little bit too anxious over the back right there. Gets that call.
And that's her second. So she's replaced by Warmack. One forward for another.
I tell you, these substitutions right now, again, a little break in the action, gives players an opportunity to catch their breath. How about the job that Coach Jessica Minetti has done in her 3rd year at Sacred Heart? Absolutely outstanding. Northeast Conference Coach of the Year. Has her players really buying into her culture and her system here. Quite impressive.
She's done a really good job. It's a very disciplined style. As Hannah Kimmel told us yesterday, that you got to be 10 minutes early, otherwise you're late. Everybody's got to be wearing the same things at all the right times and at a team meal. But it's something that they buy into, knowing that, hey, when I leave college, this is going to serve me very well.
No question in talking to Hannah Kimmel. She's definitely bought in.
Future doctor Hannah Kimmel.
Right. She will be a doctor when she leaves, when she finishes her eligibility here at Sacred Heart.
Kimmel, number 22 in the white, going for her doctorate in physical therapy. She's had plenty of her own experience with physical therapy as well. 2 surgeries on her left knee. A cross-lane pass is tipped away. She collects the rebound, shovels for Tarsi again. And it's Tarsi, the senior, going to the line. Monday night, ESPN, it's the Women's Selection Special presented by Capital One. We'll have the exclusive live announcement of the 64-team NCAA Women's Championship field. Again, this year, 7 Eastern on ESPN with a bonus hour of coverage on ESPNU. It's streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Foul on Leah Warmack, her second as well. So a couple forwards with 2 fouls here in the second quarter for Robert Morris. Your 1 seeds right now according to bracketologist Charlie Cream, UConn, Notre Dame, Baylor, and South Carolina. And in Charlie's bracket right now, the winner of this NEC title game would be lined up a 16 versus a 1 against Dawn Staley's Gamecocks. Great block by Tarsi. She stood tall and rejected Jocelyn Jones.
Well, the defense right here, both teams really doing a great job with their help side. Their on-ball defense, just very solid, disciplined, fundamental man-to-man defense.
Smart play there by Tarsi just to take the ball out of bounds rather than throwing it back in for a potentially easy look for the Colonials. Shakima Dashel had to get rid of it with the shot clock expiring, although it appeared Kimmel had gained possession. So they didn't necessarily need to call a shot clock violation there. So according to Charlie Cream right now, in his field of 64, last 4 in, you've got 2 from the Big Ten, the Hoosiers and the Boilermakers, with Auburn and Iowa. I should say 3 from the Big Ten, with Auburn and Iowa rounding out those last 4 in.
And that's always a nervous night. So on Monday night, all 4 of those teams are going to be holding their breath because that's not a guarantee that they're in the tournament. But Charlie Cream has been so accurate over the years, even to the point where he's placing them in the right region. And that's, to me, is amazing.
Baseline try with the right hand. Erin Stork, the freshman from Comac, New York, has her first 2.
You know, Stork is a player that comes in, plays about 11 minutes, but really does a nice job with her minutes, understands her role nicely.
Ravelli, left elbow. Kimmel, her eyes are up the whole way down the floor, looking for a seam through the defense.
Well, again, the pace that Sacred Heart likes to play at, they run this dribble drive offense where they're constantly challenging the defense to draw another defender and kick to a shooter. They never slow down.
When we spoke with some of the Robert Morris players yesterday, Stamolamprou, who's got it here, they said that was one of the hardest things about guarding Sacred Heart is there's no chance for a rest on defense.
Right, you shut them down on one side of the floor, ball gets reversed, and they're coming right back at you again.
Madeley on the drive. And a foul as she goes to the deck. Robert Morris by 3, under 5 minutes left before the half.
My school reunion's coming fast.
Could be bad.
Could be a blast.
Her dad, JB, a cornerback, spent about a decade in the NFL. And Jamie Kimmel is the father of Hannah Kimmel for Sacred Heart, this year's NEC Player of the Year, who spent 5 years with the Oakland Raiders. He played at Syracuse, as did his son and Hannah's brother, Jared, who was a defensive end there. And her sister, Lindsay, played for Harry Perretta at Villanova.
And that's a good genes.
She said for a long time she was the only person in her family who had never had a knee injury, and now she's been through 2 of them. She'll be a 6th-year senior when her playing career comes to an end. So she said she might want to do outpatient stuff, but she might have to do inpatient in the Kimmel household in Harpersville, New York.
She might have to move back home and rehab her whole entire family. But, yeah, her first 2 years here at Sacred Heart were cut short even before the season started. She blew out both the ACLs prior to preseason.
Kelsey Castro finds her range from deep. 23 all. It's a 7-0 Sacred Heart run as the home crowd gets back into it.
Well, that's what Kelsey Castro does. She spreads a defense wide. She's just waiting to attack you from behind that three-point line.
Michaela Mulrain on the floor with 2 fouls. And a quick response to vault Robert Morris back in front. Kimmel straight away, guarded by Smith. A better size matchup there for Robert Morris than Stamolamprou, number 4 in the blue.
As you watch this offense, you see Sacred Heart driving and knowing that players are coming behind them to give them outs to pass to.
Hand check on Smith on the perimeter. You can get 1 hand, but not 2. So it's the first on the sophomore.
Been a pretty clean game today. Not a lot of fouls called, especially not a lot of touch fouls like this.
3:57 left here in the second quarter. And so it's Kimmel at the line for 2.
Again, a great opportunity for players to catch their breath a little bit as they're both playing some pretty fast-paced offense.
Kimmel closed out the regular season as the NEC Player of the Week 3 of the last 4 weeks. And the only player on the team who was part of their squad in the 2011-2012 season, the last time they went to the NCAA tournament and had to take on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech.
Well, what a great run she's on right now. 20 games in a row, double-digit scoring. She has 11 double-doubles on the year. She's such a threat from anywhere on the floor.
Ravelli potentially had a good look on the step back. Natalie directs the offense. Any of the 5 players on the floor, they say, can initiate the offense. 5 to shoot, way off the mark for Ravelli. And out of bounds, ball stays here, but the shot clock does not reset for the Colonials.
Really, Robert Morris had such a hot start in the first quarter, really kind of cooled off here in the second quarter, but you have to credit the Sacred Heart defense. They're really doing a great job plugging up the middle. Tarsi just staying in the middle, not even roaming outside.
Jocelyn Jones puts it in. I don't know. We're going to take another look at that one when we get a chance, because that may have been a shot clock violation.
I think the fans are agreeing with you on that one right there.
I don't think that was the right call.
Where this offense really challenges the defense, you have to stay in stance as a defender to not let the ball get around you.
Jones pushing. Natalie got away with steps and the feet underneath.
Well, Coach Minetti really pleading her case on the sideline. A few things went against Sacred Heart right there that could have definitely been called their way.
And it's allowed Robert Morris to maintain a 3-point lead. Off the back iron for Stamolamprou. A trip to the NCAA tournament on the line. Both teams have been 3 times before. Robert Morris in this championship game a year ago lost to St. Francis of Brooklyn. They got a jump ball, and Robert Morris has the possession arrow.
We're going to see Jocelyn Jones right here. Does she get it off in time?
No.
No, she does not. That ball is still in her hands. But you know what? Officials make mistakes too. You know, everybody's human right now. You just have to move on, and you can't worry about that one too much.
Jones with nobody underneath has it poked away by Castro. The second-year guard down the lane and fouled on her way up.
Well, I like what Castro just did. You know, if you don't stop the ball in transition, it's going to go all the way to the hole. It'll get you in trouble.
Well, tonight on ESPN Selection Sunday, we'll reveal the NCAA men's field of 68. The teams are announced on SportsCenter. Reese, Jay Williams, Jay Millis, and Seth anchor the coverage with analysis from Dick Vitale and Joe Lenardi. Then at 7, Bracketology presented by Staples continues with 2 more hours of coverage. All that streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. First is good for Castro, an 83% free throw shooter, and it's the 3rd foul on Robert Morris's Lou Natalie, who takes a seat on the bench.
Well, if you have an 83% free throw shooter, you want her to feel really confident taking the ball to the hole anytime she wants to.
An offensive rebound for Tarsi gives the Pioneers another look, a chance to tie or take the lead. Castro lost it, the transfer from ASA Junior College in Brooklyn. 6th turnover for the Pioneers, the number 1 seed, down by 2 at home.
You see, just go right off her fingertips, right out of bounds. Good call by the officials.
Stamolamprou, leading scorer for Robert Morris. She's got 6 this afternoon.
Great ball pressure right now by Sacred Heart.
Stamolamprou with the drop off, and the lay-in good for Jocelyn Jones.
Just good patience by Robert Morris. They didn't get anything early, but they just stayed with it. Stayed very patient.
Inside of a minute in the second quarter. Castro, a good look at three. Ball tipped by Stork. Kimmel touched it last. Robert Morris has possession. Coming up on our Volkswagen halftime report, Brendan Fitzgerald and Dino Gaudio will have an update on the women's NCAA selection process. Saturday women's highlights from the SWAC and MEAC and the Big 12 and ACC men's champion. A lot more huddle management too.
It's a good, really good way to put that, Mike. Macro and micro. I like that.
You'd never know. I got a D in economics.
Charlie, very, very detailed. Loves to study the game. Again, he just is. He likes routines. He likes things done the right way. I think he'll be an excellent head coach.
Ravelli looking for a cutter. She finds Stamolamprou. That's swatted by Kimmel. Kimmel's on the run. 1-on-3. Oh, and a foul. Some aggressive defense by the Colonials.
That's going to be Stamolampro's second foul. They'll probably get her out of there before this quarter is over. Don't risk her third foul going into the half. But you know, that was kind of she's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kimmel just makes a move to her right. Stamolampro's there. Got to call the foul.
Good on the first for Kimmel. 73% at the line. Kimmel, with a dozen on the afternoon, has now scored 10 or more in 21 straight games. Sacred Heart coming in on an 11-game winning streak. The Pioneers haven't lost since a 2-point defeat against Bryant at the end of January. Ravelli fouled on the way up.
Really nice play by Ravelli to draw the foul. And Sacred Heart has got to be upset with themselves over that. You don't want to foul a jump shooter like Ashley Ravelli is. And put her at the line right here, giving Robert Morris some confidence going into the half.
First foul on Kelsey Castro. And the first is good for Ravelli, whose mom is here watching, making the trip over from Italy. Francesca, the Ravelli family from Milan.
A lot of foreign players. And Anna-Niki Stamolampro's parents, I know, are watching. Ginny and Lefteris over in Thessalonica, Greece.
3 seconds, and a runner does not fall for Tykira Carter at the half. So it's Robert Morris, 31, Sacred Heart 27, as the Colonials look to get to the tournament for the second time in the last 3 years, and we're not behind for a single trip to the NCAA tournament since 2012. Robert Morris trying to go back for the first time since 2014 when they went up against Notre Dame. There's Sal Buscaglia, the 13th-year head coach on the left. His son Charlie, the associate head coach and coach in waiting on the right. Sal is retiring at the end of this season, whenever that may be. He didn't want to talk too much about what's next for him, although he said, yeah, you know what? I am a little bit nervous. You've been in coaching for 38 years, and then all of a sudden it might not be there starting tonight. That's a tough thing to handle.
It is, but you know, give Coach Sal credit. It's never been about him in this profession. It's always been about his players and doing what's right for them, making them better. And that's all he's thinking about right now, is getting this team to win this ball game, get to the NCAA tournament.
First possession of the half. Adacia Williams, the junior from La Crosse, Wisconsin, scores for Sacred Heart. Sal Buscaglia has been coaching women's basketball at several different levels, starting in junior college before Title IX existed, and has been a great pioneer, if you will, pardon the term, playing against Sacred Heart, but for the women's game.
Well, he's one of those old school kind of coaches that understands the game. They know what they want when they're looking out on the court, when they're coaching their players.
Ashley Ravelli scores for Robert Morris. 12 now for Ravelli. Kimmel has it tipped by Tarsi. Robert Morris basketball with a 4-point lead.
A nice shot by Kimmel right there. She has a great look, but those are looks she probably wishes she had back again. She's not going to get a lot of wide open free throw line jumpers.
The Colonials in the blue, the Pioneers at home in the white here in Fairfield, Connecticut. Robert Morris hasn't won in this gym since 2008.
You see this on ball, this little bit of offense that they're running around the elbow for Robert Morris. Tough place to have to guard a pick and roll at the elbow because you've got to step out and help on the ball. So the roller is going to be open to the basket. Mulrain gets herself to the free throw line right there to get an opportunity for 2 shots.
The sophomore from Brampton, Ontario, a 64% free throw shooter. Last year, all rookie team. Jessica Minetti, coach of the year in the NEC this year. It's an extremely internationally flavored roster for Robert Morris. So you've got players from Greece and Spain and Italy, and next year's recruiting class, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey.
Well, I guess they used all their recruiting budget on those other ones, so he couldn't go as far.
Wherever the talent is, the coach's Buscaglia will go.
Well, let's clarify that. Charlie will go.
Right.
I don't think Sal got on an airplane and went to Europe.
Coach Sal does not fly. He buses everywhere, as a matter of fact. Stamolamprou under the basket. And it's the largest lead of the afternoon for Robert Morris, up by 8.
A really nice execution right there by Robert Morris. And you know that connection between Ravelli and Stamolamprou is really strong. They played together for 3 years. They know each other's game quite well.
Right to the basket, Shelby Hickey. She was big for them on Wednesday in their win against St. Francis U. 17 points, but 15 of those came on threes.
She was big on Wednesday, but this first half of this game, she was really kind of non-existent. She had 4 turnovers, didn't score. So they need her offensive production in the second half.
Ravelli into the lane. Soft touch, rolls off to the right. Saved underneath by Smith, and then a reach-in foul against Adacia Williams on the baseline, her first.
What a great save by Megan Smith right there. That ball was going out of bounds. That was pure want and hustle by number 22 in the blue.
Smith, a real smart player, great footwork, and her dad was her AAU coach with the Barry Royals program in Ontario.
Coach's kid, you know, they had that little extra bit of knowledge that comes from living the game every day.
Carter up the floor. She wants to score. Turned away by Natalie.
What a nice block by Lou Natalie, keeping her body away from the ball right here. Just times this perfectly. Natalie out of Toulouse, France, and I know her parents are watching today, Jacques and Francoise. You know, that Watch ESPN app lets you watch this game from anywhere in the world.
And that was a nice block with her left hand as well, a natural lefty to be able to knock it away with the dominant hand. 37-31, Robert Morris in the lead. A very deep team. 11 games this year. They've had at least 10 players score. Drive in the lane, and Kimmel comes up short with the left hand. Anna Kimmel yet to score in the third quarter. Still 13 points for her. Smith goes cross court. Natalie's three is good.
Really great look by Megan Smith to get that ball out of the block and to the weak side to a waiting Lou Natalie. That's good offense right there by Robert Morris.
Hickey finds the paint and the bottom of the net once again. Talk about the international players on the Robert Morris roster. Coming into this game, it hit 211 threes. All but 12 of those were from players born outside the United States.
Well, I guess you see the importance for Robert Morris, the importance and the reason why they're going out overseas to find some players they can shoot over there.
Well, you know, Robert Morris, the namesake of the school, was an importer-exporter. And the Buscalias have done a good job importing talent to Moon Township, PA.
Okay, macro, micro, and now importing. Okay, you're on it today.
A history lesson, if you will. Hickey on the way up, draws the foul, and she'll go to the line. Foul is on Stamolamprou, her third. When they went to recruit Stamolamprou, Coach Charlie Buscalia had just gotten off the plane. He's going to meet with Stamolamprou's parents at the hotel, takes off his championship ring from their second NEC title in 2008, and lost it in the hotel. So he told Anna-Niki, you got to come win us another one. And so far, they've got one, and they may be on their way to another with her on the roster, the junior from Greece.
Well, I think it was just a really good recruiting ploy by Charlie, to tell you the truth.
The fake ring.
Yeah, I lost my ring. Now you have to come and win me another one. And she did. Her freshman year, they won a ring.
Went on to play Notre Dame as a 16 seed. And according to Charlie Cream's latest bracketology, the Northeast Conference winner would be a 16 seed up against South Carolina, the SEC. Most teams projected into the field right now with 9.
You see the defensive intensity is really picked up by Sacred Heart.
5 to shoot for Madeley. Can she get another 3? Air ball. And a shot clock violation for Robert Morris.
Madeley arguing her point a little bit, thought that it was tipped by the Sacred Heart defender, but not going to get that call from the official today.
Now, you mentioned the urgency on the defensive end from Sacred Heart. Robert Morris probably feeling like they've got a lot to play for with their coach retiring, wanting to play on the road here after coming up short at home last year. But Sacred Heart, a #1 seed, has won 11 straight. Pioneers down 6 with a trip to the NCAA tournament. It's NCAA men's field of 68 as the teams are announced on SportsCenter. And then again, bracketology 7 Eastern, also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Mike Cousins, Mel Fortner here in Fairfield, Connecticut. Happy to be taking you right up to the brink on Selection Sunday with the women's field announced tomorrow on Selection Monday.
We're the last game of the day for the women, right? Before Selection on Monday. I like it.
Ty-Kira Carter scores. Instant energy off the bench for Sacred Heart. Down by 4, the #1 seed in the Northeast Conference. Winners of 11 straight. Perfect in the month of February and here in March as well.
So important to have a player of Ty-Kira Carter's nature. That energy off the bench cannot be oversold. It is something that brings it happens for everybody. Everybody gets a piece of it. Look at them diving on the floor. She scored points already. Doing it all for her team. Everybody can feed off of it.
Navarro dove to the floor. Stamolamprou called for the backcourt violation. Castro with a long 3. Rebound for Tarsi.
That's what Tarsi has to give you if you're Sacred Heart. Those extra shot opportunities with the offensive boards.
And she's stopped by Leah Warmack with surgical precision for the transfer from UNC Asheville. She's already got a biochemistry degree, wants to go into medical school after this.
You're going to see great defense right here. Gets all ball right there out of bounds. Sacred Heart will get it back, but really smart defender right there.
Etienne. Going underneath the basket for Warmack, and a foul called from right in front of the Robert Morris bench.
A little too much body right there by Etienne of Sacred Heart.
That's her third. Warmack one-on-one with Etienne. And a defensive stop for the Pioneers. A chance to make it a one-possession game. Adesha Williams against Stamolamprou. Got her in the air and scores.
Well, they're letting them play today. There's no question about it. That very easily could have been Stamolamprou's 4th foul on that defensive play.
Warmack elbow jumper. Quiets a 7-0 run from Sacred Heart.
You know, it's interesting to me to watch these teams be more efficient offensively away from the basket than at the rim. It's been very hard to get easy looks at the rim.
Castro against Navarro. Etienne turns left. She had great position on Warmack, pinned under the basket. Third foul on the redshirt senior from Maryland.
Well, this is what you have to do if you're the big girls inside. You've got to really work, use your body to get yourself the highest percentage shot on the floor right there. A little too physical by Warmack of Robert Morris. Again, nothing has come easy for either one of these teams at the rim.
Even for Etienne, who shot 64% from the floor during the regular season.
Well, again, understand where she's normally getting those shots in this dribble drive offense, and that is right uncontested at the rim. Not getting those looks today against this Robert Morris defense.
Ravelli a long three. In and out. Sacred Heart, a three-pointer away from tying the game. Williams outside for Castro with this exhausting offensive style. And Castro has too much on it. There's no team captain for Robert Morris. Ravelli might be it. Stamolamprou from the corner. Tipped out of bounds by Smith.
Great extra ball movement by Robert Morris, finding an open Stamolamprou. And normally with Stamolamprou that wide open in the corner, those shots are going to drop, but not on that one.
And Hannah Kimmel is back onto the floor after a brief rest with her head coach, Jessica Minetti. Northeast Conference Player of the Year. Has been scoreless in the first 8 minutes of the third quarter.
Robert Morris switching up their defenders on Hannah Kimmel.
It's been Stamolamprou, it's been Smith at points.
Right now, the longer Nia Adams has more length on her to be able to contest shots and athleticism to keep the ball in front of her.
Adams, the freshman, does a good job on the defensive side. Kimmel falls on it and covers up. 3 seconds left on the shot clock for the Pioneers.
You see the deflection of the ball. You see how valuable this game is and how important it is. Players getting on the floor, protecting the ball. We haven't seen necessarily a sloppy game in terms of just balls being thrown out of bounds. But offense has been very hard to come by both of these teams because of the defensive pressure.
Jessica Minetti was just talking with Pastor Torres. The official said, hey, you're not listening to me. I was calling a timeout when Kimmel was on top of the ball. Every possession right now is pivotal in a three-point game. These two teams split their regular season series, each with a win on its home court. Ravelli doesn't get it. Smith going for the rebound, and a jump ball is called. And it's going the other way.
Boy, Megan Smith does not mind mixing it up in the paint right here. Look at her.
That's a jump ball?
That's what they called. If you hold it for just a little bit, you see Etienne is over her. She gets it for a little bit piece of time while she's in the air. Doesn't look like there's a lot of love lost between these two teams either.
Sacred Heart in the white at home, the number 1 seed in the Northeast Conference. Robert Morris, the number 3 seed. Hickey, 20 in white, 5 points in the third quarter after a scoreless first half. She kicks it out for Castro from range.
And that was a really good look by Castro. Hickey did her part. She drew 2 defenders and kicked it to a waiting Castro for a wide open 3.
Stamolamprou, 0 of 3 from deep today. 8 points from the leading scorer for Robert Morris. So both teams' leading scorers have been somewhat, offensively speaking, non-factors in the third quarter.
Well, from the first half to the second half, much more physical, much more physical. You see a little chippiness going on right here between Ravelli and Takira Carter. The referees are going to have to keep their eye on that because you don't want anything to get out of hand.
Stamolamprou from 3. She's now 0 for 4. Another offensive rebound for Smith. What a job she's done.
Just giving Robert Morris extra possessions and opportunities to score. Megan Smith doing her part on the inside.
Adams, the freshman, goes away from the screen. Now she turns into the lane with the right hand. Gets it to go. And the foul for Nia Adams, the freshman from Patterson, New Jersey.
And Nia Adams, as a freshman, she's only averaging 6 minutes a game. So for her to come in and score points for you, that's an added bonus. This is a player that can come in and defend, but to score off the bounce right here in the traffic, big play by Adams.
And foul number 2 on Kelsey Castro for Sacred Heart.
You know, this is what we normally see in these playoff games, whether it's a conference tournament, the NCAA tournament, players stepping up to the plate when their number's called. And it's really fun to watch, especially here as a freshman, getting her opportunity and making the most of it and making a difference for her team.
3-point play is complete for Adams. The Colonials have led 21 times at the end of 3 quarters and been victorious in 18 of them. At the end of 3 in Fairfield, Connecticut, it's a 45-39 lead.
All day long, I saw bland boiled hot dogs.
Bang!
Burger King's got a good idea here.
Flame grilled hot dogs. Hey.
You know, these coaches are both fighting for tomorrow. They're fighting to live another day right now. They've got 10 minutes to get the job done, and she's going to do all she can.
Well, this has been a great coaching job this year for Minetti, a team that went 2-9 in non-conference play, then turned it around, went 16-2 in NEC action. She's in her 3rd year. Locally, has about 30 people here. She's from New Canaan, about 15 minutes away, and a great job for her this season at Sacred Heart. Mulrain outside for Stamolamprou. She had just 2 points in the 3rd quarter. Has not been able to find her shot today. She's 4 of 14 and 0 of 4 from 3. Kimmel was scoreless in the 3rd quarter. Cross-court look. 3 in the air. No good for Stork. Second chance. Tarsi is short.
Boy, that's a big miss by Tarsi right there. You're not going to get that good of a look very often.
Shovel from Stamolamprou. Fastball had too much on it for Mulrain.
It's a good drive by Stamolamprou. Attack the basket right here. Boy, she's got good handles on the ball, but right there, she's so close to the basket. I don't think there's any way Mulrain thought that pass was coming to her at that point in time. Slow down your dribble and just pull up and stop and pop.
Or go with the changeup instead of the fastball.
Yeah.
Tarsi down the left alley with strength. Does not get the bucket. Foul is on the floor. That's on Ravelli, her first.
Well, I thought that was continuation right there. But they'll get the ball out of bounds and have another try at it.
Last time down the floor, there was the rocket pass from Stamolamprou. Sacred Heart guards and forwards on passes into the post are not allowed to throw bounce passes. They've got to be chest or higher. And there you see above the shoulders for Tarsi. But she's battling against equally tall players.
Well, Robert Morris has some size with their posts that can stand straight up and still contest and get some deflections on shots.
Castro with a step back over Ravelli, knocks it down. Sacred Heart has cut the lead to 4.
Really nice shot by Castro, and not one that wasn't under pressure. I mean, she had a hand in her face on that one. This gym is about to explode.
It's Ravelli into the lane. Tarsi, contact. Offensive rebound for Mulray. She's fouled by Tarsi, number 3, on the senior forward out of Clinton, New Jersey, and the most improved player this year in the Northeast Conference.
Well, there's no question. It's getting pretty physical under the basket. I really think some of Robert Morris players like Stamolamprou, Ravelli need to just pull up and shoot jumpers right in front of the basket. That's about the first layup we've seen made in quite a while.
Stamolamprou now has 10 on the afternoon. Foul on the perimeter against Nia Adams, her first.
So Anna-Niki coming off the inbounds play right there, gets the finish at the basket finally. It's been a long time since we've seen one go down.
Off the inbounds, Hickey right block, got it. Sacred Heart has missed 8 layups today. It's been a difference maker, not that time for the junior from Littleton, Colorado.
Well, you feel the energy being ramped up in this gym right now. Players really going hard offensively.
Smith, the feed was taken away. Stamolamprou called for her 4th foul, and still plenty of time to go in this one.
I see the need that she felt to take away this breakaway layup, but not when you have 3 fouls and you must remain on the floor if you're Anna-Niki Stamolamprou. That's going to get her a seat on the bench right now because they can't afford to have her pick up her 5th before this game gets down to the wire.
Castro's got 8. Back to Tarsi. Left block. It's another lay-in for Hickey.
Just a beautiful play by Tarsi. Really looking to the backside to see a cutting Shelby Hickey to the basket. Great assist by Tarsi.
Timeout, Robert Morris. The Colonials have been up big this afternoon. It's now just a 2-point game. Hickey had 17 on Wednesday. Now in 2012 played Georgia Tech in the NCAA tournament. Robert Morris in 2014 took on Notre Dame. Last year it was St. Francis Brooklyn. Robert Morris and Ashley Ravelli, their point guard, her mom Francesca Everts, here from Italy to watch this afternoon. Lou Manley drops it off, right block. Second chance opportunity, no, but a whistle as Warmack, the graduate transfer, goes back up to the basket.
Boy, that was beautiful offense right there. Another great pick and roll opportunity. Missed, though, on the finish at the basket, but at least Warmack's going to the free throw line. I tell you, the offensive execution by Robert Morris at times during this game has been great. The finishing at the basket has been the hard part.
First is good for Warmack, graduate transfer from UNC Asheville, who graduated with a degree in biochemistry. Robert Morris with a curriculum to help propel her toward medical school after she's done with her 1 year with the Colonials, and hoping today's not her last game of the season. Colonials in the blue, Pioneers in the white, and a 3-point game. It's another missed layup opportunity for Williams.
A good defense by Robert Morris right there to stop the charging offensive player to the basket. I mean, that's not an easy play to defend without fouling.
Warmack, tough shot over Tarsi. Kimmel had it stripped away by Warmack. She's double teamed, and Ravelli resets.
Lou Madley back in the game, number 12 in blue, 4 fouls. Keep your eye on that.
Offensive foul on Megan Smith. Coming up tonight on ESPN after bracketology, it's the premiere of the latest 30 for 30 film, Fantastic Lies, the story of the Duke lacrosse team, an off-campus party, and the accusations that followed. Fantastic Lies, tonight 9 Eastern on ESPN. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN and the ESPN app. Mike Cousins and Nell Fortner with you here at the Pitt Center in Fairfield, Connecticut. Sacred Heart down by 3. Season series was a split between both of these teams. The Pioneers have won 11 straight. The Colonials on a 5-game winning streak. Hickey's pass to the post for Tarsi, intercepted, and Stamolamprou is back on the floor. The leading scorer on the year for Robert Morris with 4 fouls. And the lead is now 5 for the Colonials.
Warmack doing her job at the free throw line. That's knocking down those jumpers at that point in time. That's a big playing by her.
Castro behind the back in the lane. Down she goes, and Stamolamprou comes up with it.
Too much dribbling by Sacred Heart right now. Right now, it's like Robert Morris has really figured out defensively how to stop that off-the-ball dribble. Help side being very productive.
And Hannah Kimmel, the leading scorer and player of the year for Sacred Heart, has been scoreless in the second half.
Well, bigger defenders on Kimmel have made a big difference.
4 minutes, 32 seconds to decide a winner and the representative from the Northeast Conference in the NCAA tournament.
Benu was really special, really fun player to watch. Talk about a high basketball IQ, could score the ball. She took Robert Morris to some really nice places during her career.
And now playing overseas and making a good living doing it. 8 on the shot clock off the inbounds. Natalie makes it a 7-point lead for Robert Morris.
You know, every shot now has a little extra pressure on it. That's a big shot by Natalie.
Ravelli called for the baseline foul, number 2 on the native of Milan, Italy.
See Lou Natalie right here, just coming right off the bounce. Just a nice little pull-up jumper and nails it. And again, every shot right now has such pressure on it. Robert Morris with a 7-point lead. But that can quickly evaporate with some of the 3-point shooters by Sacred Heart.
And because that was the 15th foul against Robert Morris as well, so it's 2 free throws the rest of the way. But the Pioneers have to capitalize at the strike.
I like how Stamolamprou telling her team, let's just slow it down just a little bit. You don't want to stop running your offense, but you don't want to take quick shots.
Stamolamprou hit on that earlier in this quarter. Not that time.
Again, a very makeable layup right there by Stamolamprou, just not going down.
Kimmel scoreless in the second half. Conference Player of the Year outside for Williams.
And I think the switch defensively that Robert Morris made on Hannah Kimmel, putting Jocelyn Jones, Nia Adams, bigger athletic players on her, have made the difference in the second half.
Out of bounds, and the ball stays Sacred Heart. 3 on the shot clock. She thought she had a window, and it closed in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's just been a huge difference maker for Kimmel, not being able to get the looks that she wants offensively.
Lob for Tarsi, shot clock violation.
Boy, credit Robert Morris' defense right now. They're really getting in great defensive stance, talking, active hands. They lead the NEC in points allowed, so not surprising that we're seeing this kind of effort by Robert Morris.
Such a versatile team as well, not only offensively, but defensively as well. They can run players at you all game long. 9 different players average at least 11 minutes for Robert Morris, which is a distinct advantage against the 8-player rotation for Sacred Heart.
No question, especially when you're playing such an up-tempo team as Sacred Heart is, a team that really likes to hurt you in the half court with a lot of motion.
Lou Natalie, the senior, to the bench for a rest. Sacred Heart scoreless in nearly a 4-minute stretch now. 3 minutes away from one of these two teams going to the NCAA tournament. Hickey has been a crucial player in the second half.
And let's not forget that Robert Morris has not won in this gym since 2008. That's a long time ago. So none of these players have ever won here on Sacred Heart's home court.
Nia Adams whistled for the foul. Number 2 in the blue for Robert Morris. Williams is back at the free throw line. First is good. And don't forget, brackets open today. Fill out your bracket at ESPN.com/bracket or download the Tournament Challenge app. Last year, better than 11.5 million brackets entered, and almost half of those people had Kentucky winning it all. Now this year, I don't think there's going to be one team with that many votes to win it all. It's going to be pretty well spread out.
You're right about that. I don't think anybody's going with Kentucky maybe this year. I like the offense to defense strategy for Robert Morris right now. Put Lou Madeley back in the game for Nia Adams on the offensive end.
And the Colonials content to slow things down with time and score in their favor.
Well, it's all about possessions right now at this point in time in the game. 2.5 minutes left. You cannot give Sacred Heart a lot of possessions. That turnover, not a good one for Robert Morris.
Dribbling into a trap right in the middle of the lane. Offense, defense switch again for Coach Sal Buscaglia, who is retiring at the end of this year, and the end of this season may be this afternoon, or it may be in the NCAA tournament. 38 years as a coach, 62 years old. Started coaching at Hilbert Junior College outside Buffalo, New York. Went to Buffalo, took that program Division I. Then Manhattan College, and now nearly a decade and a half at Robert Morris.
Well, he's won everywhere he's been. Excellent coach. Really puts his heart and soul into his kids.
Tarsi finishes under the bucket. 52-49. And a full court press for the Pioneers.
You hear the fans in this gym really giving their all for Sacred Heart right now. Taking care of that basketball is of the utmost importance, and getting the highest percentage shot on the floor if you're Robert Morris.
Stamolamprou fades away. Shot no good. Tarsi fights for it. Loose ball. And it belongs to Sacred Heart.
You see it go right off the fingertips of Robert Morris. But Tarsi slipping the screen on the offensive end right there and finishing at the rim, which has not been an easy thing today for either team.
Tarsi had 25, a career high Wednesday. Last time against Robert Morris, 14 points. And this afternoon, just 4.
This is a huge possession for Sacred Heart.
From the wing, Hickey. No good on the 3. Rebound into the hands of Adams, the freshman, and the foul comes quickly. That was a good look there for Hickey, a 35% three-point shooter.
Well, she's a player that's really stepped up in this second half. Was scoreless in the first half, 4 turnovers, but has come to play in the second half.
Timeout, Robert Morris with a 3-point lead.
His run to give that ball reversal to the open 3-point shooter, but just couldn't knock it down. A good foul right there by Sacred Heart. You've got to stop that clock.
Tycura Carter was called for the personal foul. Her second. 3 team fouls against Sacred Heart. What's the defensive strategy here now with 1:20 to go?
Well, Sacred Heart still has 1 foul to give before Robert Morris goes into the bonus. So they're capable right now of just really playing some good defense, but fouling if they need to get that clock stopped. But right now, I think we're just going to see some really good, solid defense by Sacred Heart, not giving up anything easy or good or a good offensive look.
That's a push-off on Stamolamprou, her 5th foul. She's done.
Well, that was a really smart basketball play by Hannah Kimmel, and that's what you get from a 4th-year player right here. Look at the push off, the level down of the shoulder by Stamolamprou. Really, that could have been avoided by Anna-Niki. I think she was maybe trying to draw the foul, but when you drop the shoulder and extend the elbow, that is a foul.
Williams driving, back top of the key, and a reach-in foul on Adams. 2 free throws coming.
Well, these are big free throws right now, without a doubt. Sacred Heart has to take advantage of every time they can get that clock stopped and get themselves to the free throw line. They've got to knock them down.
Carter has made 11 of 15 this year. No good on the first. Monday night, it's Selection Monday. The women's selection special presented by Capital One. 7 Eastern on ESPN. A bonus hour of coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPNU. Kevin Nagandi, Carol Lawson, and Rebecca Lobo. Final 57 seconds. Free throw number 2 coming from Carter, who missed the first. It's a 2-point game. The Colonials with another substitution. Nia Adams for Lou Natalie.
Well, with Stamolamprou on the bench, one of their better ball handlers, maybe their best ball handler. This is going to be tough for Robert Morris to be able to break this press. Remember, you only have 10 seconds in the backcourt. You've got to get it across midcourt line.
Took them 7 last time up the floor. Ball is tipped away. And a foul is called. There was a lot of hands, a lot of bodies there. And Rebecca Navarro is the player slow to get up for Robert Morris, the sophomore from Spain.
Well, she's the one going to the line for the free throws. We'll see what happens if she can remain in the game. Yeah, she gets a little twisted up there.
Oh, that left ankle and the right hand as well. All were twisted up.
But they're not in the bonus yet, so right now, Robert Morris still having to get that ball across half court. It's not easy.
Ravelli brings it over. Robert Morris in blue with a 2-point lead. Winner goes to the NCAA tournament. 10 to shoot for Ravelli and RMU. Off the screen from Jones. Now 3, a step back. Rejected. Loose ball. And a shot clock violation is the call. Sacred Heart has the basketball, a chance to tie or win it.
I'm not quite sure about that shot selection by Ravelli right there to draw that shot clock down.
There's her dad, Jamie, here from Harpersville, New York. A thumbs up for daughter Hannah, the youngest in the family. A foul is called on Megan Smith.
Just a little too much hands defensively right there by Megan Smith. So Daisha Williams gets herself to the free throw line. A lot of pressure on these free throws right now.
She's 2 of 4 this afternoon. Sacred Heart in the second half, 5 of 10 at the line.
She's a 78% free throw shooter, so normally she's good from that range right there. But a lot of pressure on these shots right now at the end of the game.
Another substitution, Michaela Mulrain, the forward, back on the floor for Robert Morris. In there to grab a rebound if she needs to. 1 for 2. Timeout, Robert Morris, as the Colonials use their final timeout. 52-51, and they know it's the mother of Robert Morris's Ashley Ravelli. She's their leading scorer today with 12. Hannah Kimmel with 13, the high score for Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart has to foul on the inbounds immediately, as quickly as they can. They've got to get that clock stopped.
And it'll put Robert Morris into the bonus. The foul comes on Ravelli, who's a 77% free throw shooter and is 2 of 2 at the line today.
You know, this is where you want your senior leader on the free throw line to put the game away. You know, and as a player, especially a senior, on an opponent's home floor, to get yourself to the NCAA. I mean, look at the scenario here. And to be the one at the free throw line to make that happen, it's got to be pretty exciting right now for this young lady.
She told us yesterday they wanted to play this championship game on the road, believe it or not. They lost at home last year and felt too complacent at the Sewell Center.
Well, her wish came through, and her opportunity right now to really nail it is coming through for her.
Now the final timeout for Sacred Heart. So the possession arrow in a tie-up goes to Robert Morris. Both teams.
And you must switch to any kind of on-ball screens and really any kind of stagger screen. You can give up a 2. Don't give up an uncontested 3.
Plenty of capable scorers on the floor from 3 for Sacred Heart.
It just can't be an uncontested look if you're Robert Morris.
Hickey, the inbounder, can shoot the 3, as can Kimmel and Castro and Williams. Hickey in for Kimmel, the player of the year in the NEC. Step back. Now Williams, a corner 3. It's short. Tip back out. Robert Morris has it. And Kimmel is forced to foul with 2.2.
A really tough play for Hannah Kimmel right there. Not really a player that's going to create a lot of offense off of the dribble with a quick defender on her. So that was a really tough play for her to try to make. But credit Robert Morris's defense. Just didn't give up any kind of decent look to Sacred Heart.
And that's been the case all afternoon long. Spectacular defense from Robert Morris. Great game planning. And they're 2.2 seconds away from their 4th trip to the NCAA tournament.
Well, I don't see Coach Sal stepping down. At least it's not going to be today, Mike.
They go on the road, and they do it for the 4th time. The Colonials are dancing again. Robert Morris is going to the NCAA tournament.
That's an incredible effort by the Colonials today, winning on this court for the first time since 2008 to get themselves to the NCAA tournament. It's March Madness.